Hello, I am Omega Aaron, and this is Top 10s Explained. Now, the reason I'm starting this series is that a few weeks ago on my Pokemaster ADW channel, the old one, I done Top 10 Pokemon games. Now, it was a pretty controversial video since a lot of people did not agree with me whatsoever. So I am actually gonna take time to watch the video myself and explain to you why I placed each thing at each place. Now I'll just start it off at there, and I'll pause it once it gets to the game. Okay, number 10, if this thing will move fast enough, I placed Pokemon Diamond version. Now, with this placing, I actually did count Diamond and Pearl as the same game, because they are basically the same. You have to admit that. The main differences are a couple wild Pokemon and the whole Dialga versus Palkia thing. Now, the reason this game made the list, which I think I might have had to put it a little bit higher, the reason I put it on was because it just revolutionized the DS. Or not the DS, but Pokemon itself by moving to the DS. Now, I know the first Pokemon game they made for DS was Pokemon Blue Rescue Team or something like that. And it was an okay game and everything, but just that they had the same exact game, just without a touchscreen for the Game Boy. So there is no reason of buying Blue Rescue Team and a DS if you already had a Game Boy. Now, Diamond version was actually the reason I bought a DS, because back then I really did not play really too many other games. So Pokemon was the main reason I would buy anything. But right now I'm kind of branched out from that, so I might actually do top 10 games sometime. But yeah, that's the reason Diamond made it to number 10 of the list. I'll keep going. I would just skip through the video, but that would end up I'll probably end up missing something. Okay, number 9. If it ever moves. Don't know why I had it scrolling like that. Okay, number 9 is Pokemon Platinum. Now, the reason I put it at number 9 above Diamond and Pearl is that it has the same thing where it revolutionized gaming. Pokemon gaming, anyways. Because it did have all the features of Diamond and Pearl, but it actually slightly included some 3D models in with it, and also had much better use of the touchscreen. Also, the Distortion World, I think is what it was called, the one where you catch Giratina, that actually was extremely neat and pretty entertaining, because I know I went through there. I actually saved my game at the beginning of it and kept going through it just because I thought it was neat. Okay, so next on the list, if it will ever move, the thing I'm using to play this video right now, it's kind of slow with the recording and stuff. So number 8, I still don't know why I have it scrolling like that. I know that picture is kind of fuzzy, but it's Pokemon Channel. Now, most people did not really like Pokemon Channel because it was like more of one of the sleeper games. It didn't have the same battling functions and stuff. It was just you sitting there watching TV on your TV. Now, the reason I put it at number 8 on this list is because if all around, it's a pretty fun game. Because seriously, you get to do different things and just see how Pikachu reacts to them. Sorry about that. and there were different things you could watch on the TV thing that were like the Pokemon News with Psyduck. That was really interesting to me. It was just funny how it was just him going Psyduck over and over and over, but it was the funniest thing whenever I was a kid, anyways. After a while, it does seem to get annoying, but at that time, it was really neat. And also, it included things like fishing and stuff that seemed kind of neat. Also had where you had to have a better money system, keep up with money better, and some things were actually realistically priced. Where instead of buying a lemonade for $500, you could get a pack of cards for 10 or something. Also, it featured the Pichu Brothers anime series thing, which, if you really got into it, was really interesting. Where it has quite a few plot twists within it and stuff. So, if you haven't played this game yet, I recommend you do. It's for GameCube, which means it can be played on the Wii, if anyone is interested. So it's a fun game just to sit there and play. It runs on a day-to-day schedule, so it's like once a day. So now on to number 7 is Pokemon Emerald. Now this game... Okay, apparently I did miss something right there, and... I put a text box there. Guess I need to start watching whenever I edit my videos. But, Pokemon Emerald version, it was kind of hated by some of the fans of the first and second generations. Because I know I was a big fan of Red, Yellow, Green, Blue, all of those games, and also Gold, Silver, and what was that? Crystal. I was a big fan of all of them too, but Emerald actually had some neat features that were included. I liked a lot of the third generation Pokemon. Like right now, what my signature Pokemon is, Aggron is a member of the third generation. Also, it introduced a lot of really good Pokemon like Sableye, Dusclops. There's one that was really neat. Survivor, Zangoose, Rayquaza, Groudon, and Kyogre, I think is what its name is pronounced. But when you put it all together, it's basically the same as if... I don't know why people haven't noticed this, but it's similar to Red, Blue, Green, and Yellow. It's just that the sprites, the picture, and everything is redone, and they threw a couple more Pokemon in there. Apparently, some people just don't like change. Okay, and the next one, if I can ever get through this. Number 6 is Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. Now, this is also a GameCube game, which could be played on the Wii. And it actually is a sequel to another game that I think is on this list. But it introduces things like Shadow Lugia, which I know around when that game came out, after everyone got through it and everything, everyone was just trying to get Shadow Lugia on their Pokemon Emerald, Sapphire, Ruby, just so they could destroy everything. Because that Shadow Lugia was really tough. Also, it was one of the 3D type games, which usually I'm not a fan of. But I think games like this actually done it really well. So I'll move on to the next one, if it will go any faster. Number 5 is Pokemon Crystal version. Now, this game was actually a really fun game. I like it way more than I like Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Mainly since the main thing that Heart Gold and Soul Silver were trying to get is just nostalgia. Because I know if they could have called it Squirrel Gold and Mucus Silver or something, and people would still buy it just because it's Pokemon Gold and Silver, thing about everyone grew up on. But Pokemon Crystal was around that same time. Actually, I think it was like 1 year later than Gold and Silver. But what I thought was neat about it is that it contained Ho-Oh, Lugia, all the legendary dogs. There were Entei, Suicune, and Raikou, I think. And also it did introduce a lot of new things like I'm not sure if Silver and Gold allowed you to do this. Because the version I had of both of them, the battery ran dry before I could get through the entire after game. But I know in Pokemon Crystal, it allows you to go to the Kanto region, and you can go back and battle all the gym leaders, kind of like in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. But it's not like the whole updated sprites where Misty looks like some weird person and everything. But I think this game was actually better than the Heart Gold Soul Silver remake, just because it wasn't trying to focus on the nostalgia. It was trying to focus on being its own game. That's what they need to try to do from now on. Instead of making remakes, make upgrades. Not just make the graphics better, make the game itself better. Now the next thing, if we'll ever get to it, number 4, in some type of bubble letter or number. Pokemon Black and White 2. Now, one thing that was really controversial about this is that I said that I did not add Pokemon Black to the list just because I thought that Black 2 and Black 1 were the same game. Now, ever since that, I did go back and play Pokemon Black and Pokemon Black 2 again, and there seriously are some similarities, but overall, Black 2 is better. So, maybe I should just redo this video and maybe throw Black in there somewhere. But Black 2 actually is a good game. I know I hated it after a while, but they did do quite a few good things with it. They could have done a lot better, but they done pretty good. One thing that really held them back is that they decided to make it for the DS format. Whenever the 3DS was out in enough time where they could have easily just made it for the 3DS, add 3D effects, maybe add something more to the game, and it would have been great. But it was just that it was the same system as Pokemon Black and White, so it just looked exactly alike. I know there were some graphic things that they changed, like how in the beginning, while you're in the city, you go up to the top of that staircase thing, and you can see that big view of a mountain and stuff. But what they did with Black 2, they did not try making the game a lot better. They made the graphics a lot better. Now, the game is a good game, but they could have easily made it much better. It's just that I don't think it's a bad game. It just did not meet my expectations. Because I know everyone was saying, oh, it's going to be 3D, going to pop right out at you, and everything. It just wasn't that great. So, number 3 is, well, I know most people probably can't read this, but this is Pokemon plus Nobunuga's Ambition. Now, one other thing that people brought up with the Black and White 2 is that it's not out in English yet, but I actually do like the Japanese games better than the English. Because I know I played Nobunuga's Ambition, and I did not know, I did not have a clue what to do the entire game. But I did end up beating it, and it was fun trying it. And then, once I actually did try Pokemon Conquest, which came out a few months ago in America, I just didn't have as much fun with it because it wasn't as challenging. I didn't have to guess what to do. It said, hey, go here, go over there. It just told you exactly what to do. But with the Japanese version, I didn't know what it was saying, so I actually chose what I was doing. So Nobunuga's Ambition, if you have not tried it, you should. The Japanese is way better than the English. Okay. Number 2. We'll ever scroll up there. Pokemon Colosseum. Now, this is actually the game that comes before Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. Now, this game, it's just such a great game. I will actually be doing a review of it later. It was actually recommended by some viewers on Facebook. But it's a good game. It was the, I'm pretty sure it was the first GameCube game that's Pokemon, at least the first one where you actually battle. And it did introduce the Shadow Pokemon, all these 3D graphics, and all types of things like that. And just the game, how it is, the story of it is neat. How they displayed it is neat. Just the entire thing. Because you seriously start out, then you end up saving everything. And then the group that you used to work for comes back and you have to fight them, all types of different things. It is a neat game. It's for GameCube. You can play it on Wii. They might have it on Steam. I haven't really checked Steam. I'm not really a person who would go on that. But they do have ROMs for the Dolphin emulator that you can get for it. And it doesn't really take too much to run this game at 100%. I actually had it running at about 150 half the time. But sometimes it does go kind of slow. But it's worth it for this game. It is a good game overall. Good presentation. Good story. It's overall really good. Now, numero uno, number 1. Sorry about the Spanish there, I'm not good with that, but number 1 is of course Pokemon Yellow. Now, I'm currently doing a walkthrough of this. A lot of people wondered why I put it at number 1, but it's just that this was the very first video game I had ever played. It just, I know I brought this up earlier that I didn't like it, but well, I brought up earlier that I didn't like how everything tries to focus on the nostalgia, but this game, it was a good game, and for me it's a nostalgic thing. Because right now, anyone can just go play Pokemon Yellow and have fun doing it. Because I know through that whole walkthrough, even with having to put up with the Team Rocket constantly, it's still a fun game. It's slightly based on the anime, but I think it's more based on the manga than the anime. Not sure because you still play as Red. You still face, I think, Blue might be his name. It's either Blue or Green. But yeah, it's just a really fun game. Doesn't really take any advanced knowledge to play it. Cause seriously, you could probably just pick up any 5-year-old kid off the street, hand him a Game Boy with Pokemon Yellow in it, he'd have fun for hours. So, that is the end of this episode of Top 10s Explained. My next top 10 will be top 10 movies. So, look forward to that. I will actually be doing commentary during the top 10 video. That way I can already explain all this stuff without having to go through multiple times and explain everything. My Pokemon Black and White 2 walkthrough will be starting soon. I've been slightly putting it off, but it's just that I started a new game so I could try out the game again, and then I kind of got hooked on it. So, probably once I get bored of playing it this time, I'll restart it and start recording and everything. So, this is Omega Aaron, signing off. Sneeze.